Jack is passionate about making things better.
I think Jack is just a good Samaritan.
I always thought that he ran the world.
Jack teaches the gospel with his actions.
He always does the right thing.
He's really quite an amazing person.
I was born in 1927 in Joplin, Missouri, a couple of years before the Depression, and it was very tough times.
He grew up in a family that was poor. They needed food. They needed help.
My first job was selling newspapers on the street. Newspaper was a nickel, and I got 2 cents.
They lived in a small house. They had a small vegetable garden and a milk cow, and they would always give of their vegetable garden and of their milk to the neighbors, and I think that made a big impact on him.
My mother would say, Jack, would you and Bill, will you take part of the vegetables we have and surplus milk that we have, will you take that and take it around to the neighbors and see which ones would like to have it? So it was always that sharing out of our own garden, because we were able to grow more than we needed ourselves.
One thing that Jack's always said, that, you know, he never wanted to be poor again.
He saw so much need in his family and just surrounding him with his neighbors, and I think he determined at a very, very young age that he was going to do what he could to help his family and to help others.
I was Army, but I was attached to 5th Air Force, and Fort Walters was one of the largest helicopter training centers in the United States.
In the meantime, he had also started a couple little businesses, a vending company and a laundry.
And it did extremely well because I had plenty of labor. The troops there, they all wanted to make extra money. That led me into Dairy Queens.
I went to work for them, the purpose when they had bonanzas, and at that time they just opened the first one in Arlington.
And then on into TGI Fridays, and then to the hotel.
Well, that's when he met Clemens Wilson, who started Holiday Inns and was the big guy there. We had, I don't know, I guess 30-something property before it was all over.
You know, at one point in Jack's company, he had 16,000 employees. And often people will come up to me and said, I worked for your husband at this hotel or that hotel, at the front desk or in catering, and he was the kindest, nicest boss I have ever had in my life.
It was kind of a building stepping stone type of operation that was in my mind, that I would always be operating 3 or 4 different types of businesses at the same time.
He wanted to build a legacy, and he was out working his tail off to try to make something for his family and for other people that he could share and help.
The more I make, the more I can give away. That was what he taught us growing up. He said, you know, work hard for others.
For the past 40 years, I've seen firsthand what he's done for the Catholic community.
I felt like that I could serve very well because I had 70, almost 75 years of business experience running, 25 or 30 different businesses. Got a PhD on the street.
And it's been really remarkable. He served on the St. Monica's Finance Council for 7 years. He served on the Diocese Finance and Investment Committees for 14 years. He was one of the founders and supporters of San Juan Diego. He was one of the founders and saviors of John Paul II High School, and now he's working on St. Augustine Church, and so I've seen all that he's done for the Catholic community.
We had outdoor mass at the north end of the cemetery.
The ants would bite them and all these mosquitoes and all that stuff.
It didn't matter what the weather was, they were there.
Kneeling in the wet grass, and a deacon holding an umbrella over the the priest. So we started looking.
He also guaranteed the loan.
When San Juan Diego could not make the payments to the mortgage, Jack would pay it for us.
Within a very short period of time, we were up to 2,000 families. We decided they need a bigger home. So I moved forward then with Danny and I looking for a site.
He can take the spreadsheets and he can tell you in 10 minutes what this church is capable of.
11 acres, the Royal Haven, so forth and so on. I remember the bishop walking around, and Jack Pratt told the bishop, he said, "Bishop, this is a slam dunk. Buy it."
So we put that together. Took about 2 years to convince them to sell to us.
And so we called Jack the ultimate church flipper because he was able to bring it to conclusion, and it took 3 transactions to bring it to conclusion. And he did it very quietly.
He was, in a way, the founder of Juan Diego Parish. And that was my first encounter with Jack.
Jack had the ability to take a dream and make it concrete.
And I think that was one of the things that brought him joy, to see the seeds that he sowed, they were just giving fruit.
I think it's the second or third largest probably parish in the entire diocese.
John Paul II was the dream of a new high school.
Monsignor Myers and Jack Pratt came up with what we called, ultimately, the Pratt Plan. It was, let's pay the interest on the debt for 5 years until the new enterprise of the high school has a chance to get its feet on the ground and build enrollment. And then after 5 years, they'll be able to handle their own debt.
So the churches bought in. And one of the members said, well, let's approve it. But if it fails, well, we know who we can blame for the idea. It now is really a great high school and is doing very well.
The St. Augustine to San Juan Diego, Our Lady of Perpetual Help, the poorer parishes that need financial assistance. Jack is there.
I needed help with Cristo Rey School. Cristo Rey was coming to Dallas, to South Dallas. He, in a special way, is the one who pushed me to begin the Cristo Rey project at St. Augustine's Parish.
Jack just kind of has an open checkbook to those people, whatever they need, and he finds out they need something, well, Evelyn, write them a check.
Yeah, really, Jack's service has been so quiet and so under the radar that there were many things that I didn't even know that he had done. He apparently was the original founder of Young Catholic Professionals in terms of seed money.
The mission of Young Catholic Professionals is to inspire modern-day saints. So YCP connects these people, and we give them encouragement, friendship, and inspiration through Catholic role models, executives, and more, so that they can be courageous witnesses for Christ. If it wasn't for his financial support, but also his encouragement, I don't know if YCP would be what it is today, which is an apostolate that has impacted tens of thousands of young adults all over the country.
Long after he's gone, there'll be people whose lives he changed completely.
And so I don't think any of us will ever know all the things he's done.
Somebody came up to me recently and said, your husband put my daughter through nursing school. I had no idea of any of this.
And he will not like that I tell this story, but he was the quiet man. The quiet man. He never wanted to be recognized, never wanted to receive any honors, but he was always there when I needed help.
He was always the quiet giver, because that's what the good Lord would want us to do. He says that a lot.
So he likes to share his success and his wealth with other people. And I've always admired that about him.
The gospel calls us to go serve the needy. Jack does it.
I don't own it.
Everything belongs to God.
I'm a steward of it. It is a gift that needs to be shared.
And so he has really been a cooperator with God in this life, and I think that's something all of us should really emulate from him.
I just can imagine how many people could be saved and helped in this world if everybody would give back something.
And so, Jack, tonight is your night, but it's our night to celebrate you.
Gracias por todo lo que tú hiciste, sobre todo por la comunidad de San Juan Diego y especialmente en mi vida como sacerdote.
Congratulations, Jack. It is a delight to have worked with you over these last almost 20 years.
And your gift of your talents to build up the community, the church, to build up the community wherever it may be, has been the hallmark of your life.
I wish that Monsignor Myers was here to join in the celebration with you. He would be also equally thrilled.
Thank you for everything that you've done for me and for young Catholic professionals. We are so grateful.
You've always been there for me, Jack, and my family, and you just don't know how much I appreciate it and how much I love you.
I'm so happy that you're being recognized for all the work that you've done for the past 40 years for our Catholic community. I'm very proud of you, as is the rest of the family.
Dad, congratulations on such a well-deserved achievement. We love you and we're so proud of you.
Dad, congratulations. We love you so much.
Dad, I want to thank you very much for everything that you've done and all the lessons that you taught us. You definitely deserve this. Thank you so much.
Dad, I love you to the moon and back.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you, Catholic Foundation, for all you do for the community of Dallas. God bless you all.